Welcome to episode 15, where we now play the final 1/3 of the game. Okay, hello again, and now we are going to be starting in the end game. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at the photo here. All of these tiles from the deal here and approximately to here are on the table. We are now in the end game, which will take us to approximately 33 tiles left in this game. And let's go ahead and get going. Now, before we continue to play the game, I'd like to go over with you some important pointers regarding playing in the end game, or the last 33 tiles, 1/3 of the game. Discarding is definitely going to be at a slower pace. You're going to be paying a lot more attention to what your opponents have up on their exposure rack. Harder decisions are going to develop during this part of the game. Things like calling tiles and exposing with jokers is something you're going to want to think a lot about. In other words, if you are calling a tile and it's maybe down to half of the tiles left in that last third of the wall, you're going to want to assess how many natural tiles are already out, because if you call and expose with a joker, the chances are that that joker exchange will become someone's Mahjong. So when I say harder decisions develop, this is one of them. You are going to want to assess how far along you are, what your chances of making Mahjong are, and whether you do things such as calling and exposing with jokers in it. As well, defensive and offensive play increases as the wall decreases, which of course includes deciding whether or not you're going to put up an exposure with a joker in it. And then the most important thing is to know when to break up your hand. At what point do you take a chance and throw an obviously hot tile to someone that you know may call it for Mahjong? It's very easy to figure it out, because when you get toward the end of the game and you see how many tiles are left in the wall, so let's say that there are 10 tiles left in the wall, you can pretty much see that you have only 2 picks left. And if you are not set to Mahjong, and depending on what tiles have already been discarded, you can decide at that point the chances of your making Mahjong. If the chances are slim, you're not going to want to throw a hot tile. You're going to want to break up your hand instead. I'll give you an example. There are 12 tiles left. You are 3 tiles away from Mahjong. With 12 tiles left, you would have 3 picks. In order for you to Mahjong, number 1, you'd need to pick a good tile for each of the remaining 3 tiles. As well, the tiles that are on the discarded table already indicate that maybe someone else is holding your tile or tiles, and that also decreases your chances of winning. Or the tiles that are on the table indicate to you that in order for you to make Mahjong, you would need to pick up another joker. Thinking about these situations will help you decide if you need to break up your hand. The National Mahjong League says, and I will quote, "It is just as important to prevent other players from completing their hands while trying to complete your own hand." Now, not all of these situations that I'm discussing here have come up or going to come up during the rest of this game. But as you start playing more, you will see these situations arise and you will recognize them. I also recommend that you consider coming to my Wednesday night skill building, which is a live Zoom event or one that you can also watch on YouTube. Please join the MahjCon Facebook group and Ask the Mahjong Teacher Facebook group, and the links are listed under the events page. Each Wednesday evening I play anywhere from 4 to 6 games and navigate through forming the categories, to what to pass during the Charleston, to hands switching up during the game, joker exchanges. All sorts of decision making take place during Wednesday evening skill building. I hope you do consider joining us there. Well, now we're going to go ahead and start the game, and as a quick review, we left off with Wes having 2 exposures, the 4 bam and 8 dots, playing either line 1B under 2468 or line 2 under 2468. And I am playing the multiplication hand, line number 5A, under the 13579 section. And right now I am hoping to call the 5 bam so that I will be set or on call for the 5 crack, which makes up the 2 single tiles at the end of the multiplication hand, which you cannot call unless it is for your Mahjong, because you can only call to expose pungs, kongs, quints. Remember that. All right, so now I am going to get ready and ignore the 7 bam and continue the game.
9 dot. 9 bam. 1 crack. 8 crack. 2 crack. Soap. 7 bam. 7 bam.
As I am playing, I am scanning the table to be sure there are at least a couple of tiles out already, and to just pay attention to what's going on.
One dot. 9 crack. 3 bam. 6 bam.
Now I have a decision to make. I just got in, I should say, the computer gave me my pick. I picked an east, and I know there are no easts on the table. There's one west, but there's no east. So this is a great indication that somebody is going to call that east for one of the Winds and Dragons hand. Now there are 20 picks left in the wall, so that means I have 20 divided by 4, 8, 12, 16, 25 more picks, and I have a very good shot at winning the game. So I am going to take the chance and discard the east. If I had no chance in winning the game, as I had described earlier, then I would just start playing defensively and break up my hand. But I can pretty much guarantee that somebody's going to call this east once I discard it. Let's see what happens. Before long, you'll be able to make these predictions as well.
Joker swap. 1 bam.
Okay, decision making time. I have an obviously hot tile. If Wes is playing 2 4 in bams and 6 8 in dots, line 1B under 2468, then he needs a 6 dot. Since I still am 2 tiles away from Mahjong, I think I'll hold the 6 dot to see if Wes breaks up his hand to where I can then throw the 6 dot, or see if someone else throws it, and then see if he calls it for an exposure or for Mahjong. And if not, then I can follow right away with the 6 dot. This way, I might still have a chance to make my hand. I'm going to now throw the 5 dot.
5 dot. Joker swap. 5 crack.
With Wes doing a joker exchange, I bet he's
Call.
set for
3
Mahjong
crack.
right now. And now Joe has called the 5 crack for a Kong, which means he is playing line number 3 under Winds and Dragons with East and West. So that's line number 3B, which means he could be playing with 4 and 5 of 2 suits, or 5 and 6 of 2 suits. And now, guess what? Joe has my 5 cracks that I need to make my hand. Oh, what a shame. I cannot make my hand. So from this point on, I am just going to discard as defensively as I can and not give anyone Mahjong. And now I have the opportunity to call the 5 bam, but of course we already know I'm playing defensively, so I am not going to call it. It doesn't make sense because I can't make a Mahjong. So I'm going to go ahead and discard safe tiles from this point on, and the next obvious safe tile would be my 5 bams. And on Wes's next pick, he pulled one of his tiles, either the 2 bam or a 6 dot or a joker. We'll never know, but in the meantime, he did make Mahjong. So congratulations, Wes. Good job. Let's take a look at what everybody else was playing as well. So Agatha was playing line 3, and you could see it does say line 3 right under the hand, but it's a good thing to try to figure it out without looking at that first. He was playing the winds as well, north and south, with the 2 consecutive numbers in different suits, but he was pretty far from it. He was playing with 6 dots and 7 dots. So Wes had a competitor with Agatha vying for those 6 dots. And then Joe was playing east and west with 4s and 5s, 4 dots and 5 cracks. So Agatha and Wes were playing the same exact hand, but Agatha was using the north and south, and West was using the east and west, and of course they were using different numbers. Now, as far as my hand goes and the decisions I made, I think I made all the right decisions, and besides, with the 5 cracks up there on Joe's rack, he was my competitor with the 5 cracks. So I would have never made Mahjong regardless. So it's a good thing that I did decide to play defensively. And I think that that would be the best way to go. If you have a question about it, do I play defensively or should I take a chance? At the end, if you really think you do have someone's hot tile, go ahead and break up your hand. It's only a game. And I'm not upset at all as to how my hand turned out. I feel that it was a well-played hand and I got very close. And that's what you want to accomplish. You're not going to win every game. There are 4 players at the table. Only 1 player can win. So sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're going to lose. But always be happy for the winner and congratulate them. Well, this ends episode 15 and the final third of the game. Now you have another episode to look forward to, which is a bonus episode of me playing through a full game at I Love Maj from start to finish. This will be a few episodes down the road, but stay tuned for it.